In a restrictive religious community, a girl falls in love with the daughter of the congregation's leader. We begin the story with Jaime. Her father has recently died, so she has been sent to live with her aunt and uncle, her very religious aunt and uncle. They are Jehovah's Witnesses and take it very, very seriously. So much so that Jean-Francois, her Aunt Beth's husband, is preparing to serve in the congregation. Jaime tries to get out of participating in the congregation, but this is not a democracy, her aunt tells her. Look, you're going to go and you're going to like it, it's okay? And the next day she has her first day of classes, poor thing. She's in the middle of the student year, but she doesn't care about high school, the town, and anything. Terrible. She hasn't even been there 24 hours, and she's already tired of everything. And on top of that, that night at home, her aunt brought her a granny dress, because there was no way she could go to the congregation in pants. But it's not all bad. She was there half asleep when she saw a girl across the room, and well,
I've come to realize that everyone ends up falling head over heels for love.
And that night after the service, the girl comes up to her to welcome her to the community. The girl's name is Mary, and she's the daughter of one of the bosses of the congregation. They don't talk much that night, but Mary invites her to dinner. A few days later, Jaime goes to Mary's house, where she meets her father Frank and her whole family. Poor Jaime feels super out of place there, with all the religious and occasionally macho atmosphere. But she still hangs out with Mary after dinner, so it's all good. They really are strict. Mary's mother left the community when she was 6 years old. Since then, they pretend she died, because if you aren't in the truth, you don't exist for them. And then they talk about Jaime's dreams. She dreams of traveling to Europe, sunsets on the Mediterranean, and a picturesque Italian village. Then the girls play the piano and have a really good night. Then Jaime returns home and tries to find out the gossip about Mary's mother, but her Aunt Beth just tells her that she wanted to leave, that she gave up the truth, and now it's a forbidden topic. These people are very mysterious. The next day, Jaime was reading while classes were starting, but just happened to pass by a friend who invited her to skip class, and she went with him.
To break free from yourself.
He's a cool dude. And she still hangs out with Mary too. One day they sneak into the attic of the temple, and while they're there, Jaime starts questioning Mary's beliefs because she thinks they're bullshit. But when Mary suspects she's making fun, she rescues the knight by saying she wants to know. That is probably true because she listens to her carefully and then begins to study the congregation's projects. And she also continues to hang out at Mary's house, where her family pressures her to take her role in the community more seriously, to get baptized and to work with community. Jaime escapes from the baptism, but is committed to community work. Later that night, the girls are cleaning up when Mary invites her to spend the night and then hugs her as they sleep. The next day, Mary watches Jaime as she sleeps. When Jaime wakes up, Mary invites her to sleep that night again, but she tells her she has little things to do in the afternoon, but she will go her house later. That day, while Mary was spending the day alone in class, she looks out the window that Jaime is leaving with her friend, that her plans are with him. Jaime stays all day with her friend, whose name is Nate. He tells her that he has everything to be happy, that he just missed a girlfriend. Hey, slow down, speedster. Just at that moment, Jaime asks him to give her a ride and drop her off at Mary's house, where her family find very suspicious that a guy would leave her there. Anyway, nothing happens with that, and the girls hang out in Mary's room. She draws her a picture of the Italian village Jaime dreams of visiting. And that night while they sleep, this time it's Jaime who hugs Mary, but Mary's sister sees them. And the next morning they have their first day in the community work. Basically, Mary does all the work and Jaime and the boy just sit there and watch. Easy peasy. And the girls keep hanging out. And not just at Mary's house anymore, they also go out there for walks. They've gotten really close. And well, you know that Jaime was super bored at first when they sent her there. Well, now her mom gives her the option to come home and she says no. She chooses to stay at Mary's for a longer time. She voluntarily chooses to stay longer in the community. On the other hand, she remains friends with Nate, but she dumps him to go to the congregation with Mary. That night at the end of the service, Mary's sister tells her, "Look, be good and stop distracting my sister." The next day, Jaime is sitting by the lake when Nate shows up. That day is Jaime's birthday, and since the congregation doesn't celebrate that, he takes her out for a cake. Unfortunately, she is just discovered by Mary and her sister, and on top of that, her friend tell them that she was celebrating her birthday. That night when she gets home, her aunt and uncle tell her that Mary's father is worried that she's a bad influence, and that if she wants to continue hanging out with her, she should do so with supervision, only at temple activities. Mari doesn't care about it and keeps talking to her as nothing is wrong. Maybe she is a bad influence because Mari has brought her a birthday present, a meteorite fragment. But she is also pulled by the activities of the congregation. She's not going to miss it. While they were at it, Jaime touches Mari's hand. This girl isn't afraid of anything, and then they walk home alone. On the way, Mari asks her to stop for a moment to pray. Then Mari stopped her, kissed her, and left as if nothing happened. Jaime doesn't go home. She goes to Nate's place. She needs to talk about it, but he tells her that he's not even surprised and that it seems pretty obvious to him every time they see them together. The next day, the girls continue with the community work, and when they are done with that, Jaime tries to take Mari's hand. But she first pulls her hand away, and then tries to convince her to go out with a guy from the congregation on a double date. Jaime accepts the double date and goes to mope at home. And on the weekend, they go out with the guys who turn out to be like her alibi for a movie date, basically. They hold hands in the car and then sneak off to make out in the bathroom. Simon was definitely not their date, he was their Uber, and at the end of the night, the girls sneak into an alley to make out. The next day, the girls were supposed to go do community work, but they sneak off to make out on the lakeshore and then falsify work records. And that's not the only thing. Jaime already has Mari running away from class with her. That afternoon, the girls talk. Mari is jealous because Jaime was with a girl before. The hypocrisy, because Mari has a boyfriend. She's dating with Marco, the guy they were on the double date. On the other hand, the girls have taken a little getaway to the beach, although that trip doesn't go well. First because Mari is still jealous, and second because she was spotted by Jaime's uncle. Jaime spends all day freaking out, but that day Jean-Francois doesn't go home. However, the next day she finds out that he went to see Mari's father and told him everything. Jaime asks Mari to go with her. She tells her that she will come home with her mother and they can be together, but Mari tells her that she can arrange it, that she will talk to her father. And then nothing, no news from Marie, but her uncle forces Jaime to go to the temple with him, and that night he will give his first sermon in the temple, very suspicious all around. And then Mari arrives with her family. Her father steps into the atrium, gives a speech about love, and then announces his daughter Mari's engagement to Marco. And that was Mari's job, talking to her father. Teen marriage. Tonight, Jaime goes to talk to Mari, and she tells her it was her idea, that they should live together in the truth. Jaime begs her not to get married, to go with her, but Mari insists that this is the only way for them to be together in paradise. Mari begs her to stay, but Jaime hugs her one last time and leaves in tears. The next day, Jaime prepares to leave. She argues one last time with her uncle, says goodbye to her friend, and her aunt comes out to take her. Her aunt tells her that she loves her no matter what and drops her off at the station. Sometime later, Jaime wakes up with her girlfriend, says goodbye and leaves to catch a train. She is going to visit the congregation. When she arrives, she is picked up by Mari, and her son Luca. The boy's name is in honor of Jaime. The Italian village she dreamed of visiting is called Lucca. Then Mari tells her she'll take the long way home and ends up on the shore of the lake where they hung out. Jaime tells her about her life. Next year he will finish college, and he already made her trip to Europe. After that, Mari takes her to her aunt and uncle's house, but before she leaves, she tells her that she thinks about her every day. Jaime goes to get out of the car, but Mari won't let her. And well, I guess she came to her senses and decided to get her girl back, but in the end it's a bit ambiguous. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.